Hey everyone, Dylan here. Just want to give you a quick pre-warning before the episode starts. Ash had a little bit of an audio mishap, so his audio is not going to sound crystal amazing smooth. It is fine. It is listenable. You can understand him. However, it may sound like he's at the end of a corridor. I'm sorry. He's sorry. On the behalf of the Explosion Network, we're sorry. I hope you still enjoy the episode. We're sick. We're tired, but we put out the episode. It's currently 1 a.m. I'm editing this. It has to be out in 5 hours. Enjoy.
Wow, that's a tremendous looking trophy.
Welcome to Platinum Explosion, #1 PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias. I am Dylan Blight. Joining me this week, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling okay. How about you?
Yeah, less than okay, but we're here.
Why? What's wrong with you?
No, I've
What
just been
happened?
sick over the weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. But
No.
just stay inside, play
Stay
some
inside.
video games.
Yeah, don't go anywhere.
Yeah. You didn't leave the house once,
Nope, not at all.
apart from watching esports at Supernova.
Yeah, well, I had to. That
So
was,
sick.
Yeah, well, everybody need to see my awesome Kieran cosplay.
Well, yeah. That's if you're gonna leave the house, it has to be for something you really love when you're sick, and we know how much you love esports, Ash.
I love it just as much as Dash does. Yeah.
I feel like you
Same
do
level.
love it more than Dash does. I feel like you love it more than Dash.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Come on now. It's a big week, Ash. Very big week in
Huge,
in
some
video
people would
games.
say.
Huge, very huge, so big. Are you excited?
Yeah, sure.
Well, you tell me. Here's an example of some things that are out this week. You've got the Spyros, the Reignited trilogy
Nah.
collection.
No one's interested in that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
What's that? Who's in
You
that
got the
game? Some
Fallout?
sort of shark or something?
that's right. It's a shark with wheels. You got Fallout 76. That's the one that everyone was liking and then didn't like because
Yeah,
it was in
I
beta.
feel like the
and Nick
hype
cancelled his
has
pre-order.
sort of dropped off.
I've seen mixed. I've seen people like Nick who are like, fuck this game. And I've seen other people that said, I wasn't interested. Then I played the beta and now I'm down. So,
Yeah.
you know, I suppose it
feel like-
just depends on what you...
I know about you, but I'm
What
going
you're
to
looking
wait
for.
and see with that one. I think wait a bit longer.
I already brought it.
Okay.
I have brought the games. Well, it was $49 off Amazon.
Oh, that's a good deal.
That's
Now I'm
that
thinking.
was too
Now,
cheap.
now
Yeah.
things are thinking in my head.
I had zero plans to pick it up because obviously there's lots of games out this week, and
Yeah.
I've already picked up lots of games. But $49, Ash.
This is.
You know,
I mean, you're losing money if you don't buy that.
yeah, well, you do when you work in the industry like we do. You know?
Amazon.
It's an investment. Yeah. .au. Oh, and it was some special edition too. It was an Amazon exclusive that came with, I don't know, stamps or pins or something that was exclusive to Amazon. So it's not even just the normal version you get for $49. It's a better version. Are you ordering it right now?
I'm looking at it. Amazon Special Edition. Yes, you get
Yeah.
pins.
This show is not sponsored by Amazon yet.
Hit us up.
But this is an advert for Amazon to sponsor this podcast. You also have Hitman out. Then you've got Hitman 2. You got Battlefield 5 if you're picking up the deluxe version. This is something I don't like. I'm getting sick of this. You know, this thing where you pay extra money to get access to the game early.
I don't mind it. I mean, whatever.
They did it.
Whatever floats your boat. If you want to pay a couple extra dollars, get
Just
a bit.
seems like a shitty pre-order incentive to me. That it's like the easiest way to trick people. Like,
But you
it's
get
just-
a couple extra days to get good. That could be the
suppose.
huge difference in whether you
I
keep
feel like
playing
this
the
is
game
only
or
a
not.
I feel like it's only a trend this year too. Like even Tomb Raider did it. It's not even just games with multiplayer.
I know. I think it's
Get
probably just
access-
an easy thing for them to give as a pre-order thing. Like it doesn't cost them anything. They don't need to build another statue. No, you just get a couple of days before the... I mean, the game's already made.
This is like a week.
The game is already ready.
Or more. Yeah, I suppose, but... So you got that, and then you got a bunch of
we need
Play
it
Lit
here in
games.
Australia because you need that time to download that day one patch, so...
Well, yeah, it depends where you live.
Yeah.
The Australian edition. For all those without MVN.
Yeah.
Comes out a week early just so you can download the patches. Yeah, and then we got a bunch of Play Lit games out this week as well, which isn't super exciting, but there's like 3 or 4 dropping this week to get you ready for the Christmas holidays and, you know, family time, some fun couch games. So it's probably smart for them to... Well, it's probably smarter for them to put them out now than like the middle of December or, you know, something like that.
Yeah,
so.
put them out now, and then in a couple of weeks, do like a bundle, so we can buy them all in one go.
Next month they just announced it.
Yeah.
PS Plus game next month is going to be the latest Knowledge is Power game anyway. We'll find out. So I feel like I was going to ask you at the end of all that and say, which of these are you picking up? And you was going to say no. Is this what you was going to give me originally?
Originally, yeah.
Yeah, and now that I've pointed out that you can get Fallout for $49, which of these games are you picking up this week, Ash?
Probably Fallout 76, yeah. I don't know if I'm going to be playing it this week.
Amazing.
Yeah. I'm still halfway through Red Dead. Not even halfway.
Yeah, I don't even know if I highly doubt I'll jump into it. Well, I'm going to have so much to play this week that I'm not really worried that it's going to get here on time anyway, you know?
But you got that sweet Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
2-day shipping.
Free. Is it?
Yeah,
here's
my Red Dead copy that I got at PAX came on time.
Yeah, on time for you when you got back.
No, it was there on Friday. I got the email.
Oh, was it
and
really?
My brother installed it for me because he wanted to play it on the PlayStation. So while I was in PAX, yeah.
Oh. Good on you, Ash's
brother. But this is not an ad for Amazon.
No,
or Amazon
not yet.
Prime. But if you do have Amazon Prime, you can always go to twitch.com/Explosion Network. You can use that sweet Twitch Prime subscription on us. I mean, if you're not watching anything else. Any other streamers or anything.
Even if you are.
I mean, they can go a month without it.
Yeah. Supporting us on Twitch supports the Explosion Network. It's the only way you can give us money now. It's the only way you can help keep everything running. So give me that sweet... It gives us like $1.50. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I think the last thing I ordered off them was, like, game-wise, I think I've only ever ordered 1 or 2 things either. I ordered Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, the Switch. Didn't arrive the day of release, though. So, if I 100% knew that 9 out of 10 times... That's a weird thing, but you get what I'm saying. If I knew that majority of the time, most good cases, Amazon would deliver a game release day, I would probably order more pre-order stuff from there when they have cheap prices. Yeah. However, I doubt that they will, so I'm never going to order anything from there I want to play day one.
You're probably not metropolitan
I'd rather just drive. Yeah, well, it's got to travel over the ocean, I suppose. But then again,
it's a sea, isn't it?
I think
Tasman Sea.
I know. I feel like they have a thing in Melbourne though, so it's like it's not actually that. It should just be an overnight. Like it should be fast shipping.
They should just put it in a bottle and then be able to chuck it across, and the tide will carry it across.
You'd think so.
Yeah.
That is how the ocean works.
I mean, they should just make it some sort of pulley system from Tasmania to Melbourne.
Yeah, it's called the Spirit of Tasmania.
Like, just have like some sort of chain, and then someone's pulling it from one side.
We don't have that much free time, believe it or not.
Really? What else do you do in Tasmania?
Play video games. Work day jobs.
Working that job would be a step up from the petrol station, right? Pulling.
I mean, I could just listen to podcasts all day, so...
No human interaction.
Sounds great.
I mean, you'd get awesome biceps.
Yeah. So Spyro's out today. If you're listening to this day of release, Spyro is out.
Wow.
We'll be picking that up. That'll be exciting.
Isn't he turning 20 today as well?
I'm looking forward to it. Yes.
Freaking hell. That's a lot of years.
Freaking hell. That's a lot of years.
Yeah.
It's a 20-year-old dragon.
We just feel old now.
It's funny. My quick Spyro tangent story is Spyro was the first ever PS1 game that I owned. Like, it was my game.
Yeah.
Like obviously the PlayStation I had as a child,
it was a joint thing.
My dad brought. Well, you know, everyone played it. It wasn't anyone's. You know, it was in the living room, obviously, like most people. But Spyro was my first ever game that was given to me as a birthday or Christmas present, and then I took it to daycare a lot. We used to go to this daycare place in school holidays. Used to go there. And I used to take the game there to play there and be like, cool, look at my cool Spyro game. So I've still got the disc somewhere, but I did the whole thing where my name was written in Biro on the front of the CD, which if anyone did, if my mum obviously did that, but if she did that to my shit these days, I'll tell you what.
No resale value.
Would not end nice. No, exactly. Yeah. It's just memories though. And then my other... This is how much I liked. I can't remember if I've said this before. I liked Spyro so much as a kid that I, at one stage, also got, I think it was like 8 pieces of A4 paper, and I like sticky taped them all together to form one giant piece of paper, and then I drew the front cover of the Spyro game on it. That was my afternoon one evening on a sad day as a child. I loved Spyro so much. I had to draw that cover back when I liked drawing. And nowadays I can't even draw a fucking stick figure. I hit my teenage years and any artistic elements of me just drained.
Or maybe you just realised you're bad.
I don't know. No,
critical mind kicked in, and then you're like, oh my god, everything I make is rubbish.
Yeah, that might have been it. In primary school, I won like the art competition one year and got picked to go to this art school thing that was like off premises with 2 other kids from different schools and stuff. Every time I think about it, I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Puberty.
What even? Yeah, fucking puberty, man. So
it messes with your mind,
Spyro.
man.
I'm getting Spyro. I'm getting Fallout. I wouldn't mind playing Hitman one day, but here's the thing: I never finished Hitman Season 1. But the best thing about Season 2, or Hitman 2, is it just has all the levels from the first game anyway. So now I'm like, why would I even go play the first one? Apart from the fact I've already brought it, obviously.
All the levels from the first one, and you just play it the same...
Plus.
So they've just put the first game in the second game.
Yeah.
Is the gist of it. Okay.
Yeah. Because why not?
Because now it's not Square Enix anymore? I don't know.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And we've obviously talked about Battlefield 5 at different points during over the course of this show. I'm not rushing out to pick it up because obviously there's so much other stuff happening. However, I stand by that I had a really good time playing the beta, and if I find the time and I see a cheap copy or something, I would be down to play me some Battlefield 5. And I've read, because reviews started coming out last week for people who... It was one of these really shitty EA review events. Like, they didn't send out copies to press. You had to fly to fucking like Sweden or Germany or
some
wherever were for a review event, which is what EA does. But I never like the sound of those, because especially for multiplayer games, I don't know how you critically judge it when you're all playing on the same server and you're like, yeah, it plays amazing. And then the game comes out to the wild and then you get all these multiplayer issues and stuff, because obviously it's a completely different system. Yep. So I wasn't really judging any of the multiplayer stuff I was reading, because I'm like, yeah, I don't trust any of this shit. But all the reviews I looked at were saying that the single player stuff is really, really good. Like, it builds on what Battlefield 1 did with the
war stories,
whatever the fucking word is. The war story
Pigeon
stuff.
Tales.
Yeah, that stuff. They built on that and made it. They're really good in the new one as well. So
isn't that meant to have a battle royale mode as well?
Yeah, it's coming in March now.
Oh, okay.
They moved the date for whatever reason.
Whiteout.
I don't know.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I don't know. We did that whole discussion in one episode. You know, what's going to be better, COD versus Battlefield? Now it's just like, so when they announced they're moving it to March, I'm like, I'm not talking about that shit anymore. I'm not even going to bother talking about it. It's so far away.
Did they announce that after Blackout came out or before?
They announced it like a week or two ago when they put out like what was going to be happening with before the release of Battlefield 5.
Okay.
Like here's the stuff we've changed after the beta, blah 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 blah. Oh, and by the way,
you know that mode in the other game that everybody's raving about and is loving a lot?
Yeah.
We're playing till like 4 o'clock in the
ours
morning.
isn't coming till March.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say this. I'm kind of glad because I'm hoping that when it does come out, it's nothing like Call of Duty and they're actually going to do something very Battlefield and special that'll make it worthwhile and stand out from the rest of it. Because if Battlefield and COD both dropped and had very similar Battle Royale modes, it'll just be like, okay,
what's the point?
COD wins because it was out first.
Yeah.
So, and it's more popular. So, and then the PlayLink games, I probably won't pick up any unless trophies, which we'll talk about later in the show, obviously. Or I find out any of them have suddenly added online play, or you could do like you Jackbox Party type multiplayer where you just need a room code or something. But I haven't seen anything like that, and I still think that's one of the stupid things they're doing with this fucking PlayLink shit. I know they're trying to promote couch play, but Jackbox promotes couch play, and it was designed for couch play. However, the room code and the online, I don't know. I don't want to get into it. It's just really, really silly. Okay, have you ordered Fallout over there before we move on?
Maybe before the episode. I don't know. I'll have to find my credit card. I don't think it's right on me, so...
So all I have been playing since the last episode is Tetris. I've played so much fucking
Is there
Tetris.
Controller lag?
No, not in the
good.
full release. That is still a real thing, and fuck all he is, because
so.
Buddy Watson from Dash Culture also said that it was a thing.
Yeah, but it didn't phase him.
Well, look, when you're trying to be pro, it phases you.
Maybe it's just a difficulty level.
No.
Just adds a little extra lag to boost that difficulty.
No, thank you. So, Tetris at home, in VR, is a lot better than playing it on the PAX show floor. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
Because there's no little distractions happening, and you can actually hear the music and just zone in to what's happening.
No idiots giggling as you fail miserably.
Yeah, exactly, that crap. More than any game in VR, I think, like I have, without even exaggerating, and it's not even a meme, I have literally lost time and not realized how much time I spent playing this game.
I heard you told Tree you were going to be 10
thing.
minutes, and then you ended up playing for like 2 hours.
Yeah, and I thought, maybe I was 15, 20, if that,
Yeah.
And then it was 90 minutes.
Because there's like a timer in the thing, though, on the side.
No, because if you're completing the level or you're failing and restarting, then obviously you can't lose track or whatever, and you're not really thinking about it, I guess.
Is that
I don't know.
they need to introduce? They need to have like little reminders of how long you've been there in VR.
How long have you been playing VR for? There's several things that
half-hour increments, just a little flashing light just to remind you.
I find it also so funny because I remember when VR first came out, and I do fairly long sessions in VR these days, and I have no problems. Like, obviously, I've spent hours playing Firewall and stuff like that without having to have a break because I'm more used to playing with the headset on these days. But at the same time, I could never imagine a world when VR first came out where I could just sit there and play something like Tetris in that headset for hours and hours straight. Because when it first came out, it was kind of like half-hour increments, and then, I need a break. Too dizzy, or like I'm sick of this thing being on my head, or it's becoming uncomfortable. So that's interesting. But also, I never really liked Tetris. How much Tetris do you reckon you've played in your life?
A lot.
A lot.
I'm pretty sure we had like Game Boy. I know. I think we had like one of those second like dodgy. Like, you get the little handheld thing with just Tetris on it. Like a dodgy discount store. You just play that for hours. Yep. I mean, it's addictive. It's simple. And then you have all the variants, like... Dr. Mario is sort of Tetris-y, but not... Yeah.
Kind of. I reckon the Dr. Mario or... No, not Dr. Robotnik's in the Sega Genesis collection is the one I've ever put the most time into, like a Tetris variation. I can't remember the full name of the game. Dr. Robotnik's something or other. It was part of the Sega Genesis collection on PS3. Because got that game for the easy plat. However, me down at my friend's place, we would just take turns for hours just playing that game. Back to back to back, just like seeing who get the highest score. After we got that, we both got the plat in like a day each, just shared it. And then we just kept it around just to solely play that. So that's probably the most I've ever played a Tetris game. As a kid, people had Tetris on the Game Boy, and I had a Game Boy. However, the first game I ever got for my Game Boy that came with it was Pokemon and Super Mario Bros. And then I remember seeing someone playing Tetris and being like, A, it's black and white, fuck off. And B, no, this is ridiculous. I'd be horrible at it, and I just thought it was bad. As a little kid, my mind wasn't like, this is fun, a thing that makes me feel like shit for failing constantly. You know, I didn't have that mentality of I should keep going to get better at it. So I wouldn't say I'm a big Tetris fan in any imagination, and I wouldn't even say I'm particularly good at it. You know, I had to drop down to easy difficulty to finish the final level, which I looked up online and saw people saying that they can't even beat the game, so that made me feel a little bit better. But at the same time, you see people who have been playing it their whole life who just smash through the entire game on expert and keep going like it's nothing, and that you're like, okay, yeah, maybe I just suck at Tetris. But at the same time, it is so fun. It is, and it's hard to talk about it normally. Like I put in an hour or a bit over an hour, not in VR, just so I could have, you know, that experience to know what the difference is. So I played it normally for about an hour, and I was like, cool. Even the soundtrack, yes, it sounds cool. I have the exact same pair of headphones on right now that I was using when I was in VR. It doesn't sound the same though. Like, technically, it would. You know it does. When you think about it, you're like, yes, this sounds exactly the same because the VR helmet isn't changing the sound, you know? It's just...
Or is it?
The same. It's not, because I don't have my headphones plugged into the VR headset. They're my wireless Bluetooth headphones that plug directly into my TV. Yeah. Surround sound ones. That's what I use. So it would sound exactly the same in VR, exactly the same normally. However, for whatever reason, when you're in VR and you've got the special effects and all that sort of thing happening, and you're more just in that world, the music just feels like so much more a part of the experience, especially because when you're making Tetrises and blocks and whatever else happening, the effects are happening in tune with the music and all that sort of stuff is happening, and it's really hard to explain. And when you finish the game, you can go back. This is one reason to push through. If you're struggling like Nick, because Nick on Twitter today was like, I'm struggling. One reason to really push through and beat it is when you beat it, you can go back through any of the levels in just a theater mode, and you can actually just look at what's happening in VR and those really cool the levels. Because obviously when you're playing them, really, you see stuff happening around you, but you can't take it all in, yeah. And like, if you played it at PAX like we did, that first level, the song's really cool. It's very minimalistic, like what's happening graphic-wise. It's a lot of cool stuff happening. Earth appears in the background, and there's like a whale thing, and this song starts up that basically sets the tone for what the quote-unquote story is for Tetris, which is basically... because the woman's voice says, you know, we are all one in this together world, or, you know, something like that. So the story is very much about the planet, the Earth, or the universe. You know, we're all a part of it, love each other, that type of stuff. But as you get further into the campaign, you get levels that just take you to the moon, take you to snowy Alps, take you on a balloon ride. They get a lot more, go to tribal stuff, bushfires happening, all sorts of really weird stuff. And the last level is nuts, is crazy. But by the time you finish it, and it just takes you straight through the credits and the music starts playing, and you come out the end of it and it's like, okay, that's crazy. It definitely feels like a game that was designed for VR first, and like having it being played normally was second. They're like, yeah, that's the thing we're going to be able to do, but this is VR. This game was designed for VR, and I feel like if you're not playing it in VR, you're definitely not getting the full experience of what Tetris Effect is. You can just tell in so many things, especially the fact that multiplayer is missing, which I see a lot of people complaining about. They're like, why is multiplayer missing? Most Tetris games always have multiplayer these days. Why isn't multiplayer part of the experience? I'll tell you why, because they designed it for VR first and foremost, and they were like, well, we're not going to add a split screen Tetris versus mode into a VR game because people are just going to be put on a VR headset and it's a very solo experience. So that's,
I mean, that
as far
could
as
have
I'm
been cool.
concerned,
It feels like asymmetrical. Someone's watching on the TV, someone's playing it in VR.
Yeah, it could have been, but I just think because they were designing it for VR first, and they were designing the journey mode, they were just designing it as this experience. You know, it's Tetris, but really, and like the campaign mode is called Journey, and that's what it is. You know, start to finish, and if you can play through that whole thing from start to finish without actually fucking up and having to restart a level, which I can't, even on easiest difficulty, that is, as it says, a journey. It just takes you to so many different places. It's nuts, and you get so in the zone. That's the funniest thing, and you get when you play Tetris normally, you kind of get in the zone, you're kind of concentrating, but you can kind of lose concentration just for a split second, get distracted easily, obviously. When you're in VR and you just got nothing else, it is, and that's why it's so addicting how I lost so many hours, because even if I fucked up, it's so quick to just, you click continue, straight back into it, you know?
Very zen.
There's no quick, there's no long load times or anything. That's the best thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you fail. Oh, fuck. Continue. Straight back in. Oh, keep going. There's no time for my brain to be like, oh, maybe lift up the helmet, check the time, see what's happening. And of course, we're approaching the end of the year, and I knew when it came out, I was like, I hope it's as good as I hope it to be, because Game of the Year conversations, and it's up there. I don't chuck a score on it. I'm hoping to possibly write a quick review for it at some point during the week, but I've still got a bunch of other things to do. But it's either a 9 or a 10.
Yeah.
Easy. And anyone who's giving it 10s, and if I decide once I kind of lay out my thoughts a bit more to give it a 10, it's hard to argue. You know, it's just, and people who are like, oh yeah, $50 for Tetris, is it worth it? If you've got VR, 100%. If you don't have VR, it depends on how much you like Tetris, I feel. But if you have PSVR and you don't like Tetris, I feel like you will like Tetris, you know?
Are you going to check it out not in VR? Or is that, do you like...
I said I did an hour.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I did an hour of non-VR just so I could, just so I know
what
the big difference is. Yeah. Yeah, so I have a reference points for that, and no. That's what I'm saying. As far as I'm concerned, it's a PSVR game.
Yeah.
It's a really, if it's not in VR, it's just a really flashy Tetris game with a cool soundtrack. But you're not getting that full experience without VR. Yeah. I don't feel it's just
VR
nuts. No, I don't. Yeah, VR and headphones. Strap it all in. Yeah, don't do these fucking people I see playing VR games, especially games like this, with just the sound coming through their TV. Get out of my life. Strap yourself in. Get the full kit happening.
I mean, they just don't want to get robbed.
In there.
Or murdered. Yeah. Or they've got children.
But it's all I've been thinking about all day. And I don't...
Is it what you've been dreaming about?
It's...
Just Tetris blocks?
I have, actually. I don't know if I've got the Tetris effect, because people describe it as you play a lot and then you start seeing like things in the world, you know, like bricks and stuff in people's houses and trying to fit those together. I haven't been doing that. I've literally just been seeing kind of the game in front of me all day, or at different points in the day. Like, especially when I was driving home just an hour ago, and because kind of when I'm driving home, you kind of you get a bit of auto mode, you know. Yeah. You're going a bit on autopilot. Yeah, so then all of a sudden, in the middle of my my vision, I start seeing the Tetris field and there's block coming down and stuff. Not like very visible, obviously. It's at like 10% opacity, you know.
Yeah.
Like in my vision, it's kind of just there. Yeah. So I mean,
You should probably
but
get
I
that
have
checked
been
out
playing a
if
fuck
it's like
ton
a
of.
serious problem. You're playing it so much that
Anyway,
your
Tetris
eye, it's stuck on your retinas.
It's so good.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. It is so good, and it's something. It's is it worth buying a VR headset for? As I've said many times before, I don't believe any game is really worth buying any console for, and that's what that's what PSVR is. You gotta treat it like its own console. But fuck, it's close.
The catalog is making it more and more difficult not to have one, I think.
Especially this year, it's nuts. Talking about the catalog, Ash. Next week, we're finally getting Beat Saber.
Beat Saber.
So after all my disappointment that I couldn't play it at not PSX, at PAX, it starts with P, close one. They're like, fuck, it doesn't matter. We'll put it out for Dylan because he didn't get to play it. So it's coming out November 20th. Is when it's coming out.
Jeez.
And I'm pretty damn excited. It means I get to go from the audio-visual experience of Tetris to the audio-visual experience of Beat Saber, which is really cool. Will I break my TV? We'll find out. Time will tell. But I'm going to be in here working up a sweat, getting some high scores, doing what I need to do. If you don't know what Beat Saber is, because I don't know if we've actually talked about the show apart from that pack.
Because nobody's played it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's really popular on PC. There's videos out all the time, and people mod it.
They were demoing it at Supernova with a Vive, I think.
Yeah.
It was like one.
So it's basically a rhythm game in VR where you stand there and you have two lightsabers. They're not called lightsabers, but they're basically lightsabers.
Yeah. It's a lightsaber
one's
rhythm
blue.
game.
Yeah, it's a lightsaber rhythm game. Yeah. One's blue, one's red, and then in front of you, these blocks will start coming at you, and they're different colored blocks, obviously to match your two lightsabers, and they have arrows on them to tell you which direction you have to swipe. So, if one's coming at you that's red and it's got a left arrow on it, you have to swipe across to the left, and then obviously the songs kick in, and if you're doing it really well, you're going to be smashing all these blocks with lightsabers in tune with the music. Premise: pretty simple rhythm game, really. Obviously, you're in VR with motion controls, so it's on a different level. And I'm talking it up, having not played it, simply because in premise and from all the videos I watched, I'm just yes. And as far as I'm concerned, it'll be amazing unless the PSVR version is just fucked for some reason, which will be one of the biggest disappointments ever. But Buddy Watson, just fucking talking about Buddy a million times this episode apparently, he's played it at his little JB Hi-Fi Best Mates convention, whatever that was called, and he really enjoyed it there. So he's the only person I know who's actually played it in VR, not Vive. So we'll trust his judgment for now. So that's exciting. Stay tuned for me talking more about Beat Saber. Getting off PSVR though, talked about MediEvil last week. This week I'll talk a little bit more about MediEvil. So Jason Wilson, who is worked on the original MediEvil game back in the day, and also did the voice of Sir Daniel Fortescue, quote unquote voice, because it was mostly or like grunts and kind of muffled noises, sound effects, and yeah, I mean he did talk, but it was mostly a bunch of noises. He tweeted out this week that he said, "I can now officially reveal that myself and Chris, who also worked on the game, has been involved with constellation work from MediEvil Remark, from the art to the design. We've been extremely impressed and happy with how Sony and of Ocean's passion for Sir Daniel's original Undead adventures." Then he went on to tweet, "I know some of you are eager for our thoughts, and thank you all for the nice messages and questions, but all I can say for the moment is that the game is very safe, skeletal, hands, that this is only the beginning of more fun, ghoulish things to come." Dun, dun, dun. And then someone also asked him, "Can you tell us who's voicing Dan?" To which he replied, "The voice of Sir Dan in the trailer did sound very familiar," with a smiley face. So fans are quite happy with the idea of him returning to voice Sir Daniel, which he did in the PSP remaster thing, because they did a PSP remaster back in the day. I think it was called Retribution. I don't even know. But he didn't do the voice for Battle. What the fuck is it called? All Stars. BS Battle All Stars. He didn't do the voice for it in that. But of course, the most exciting thing here is the teaser of some more Sir Daniel Fortescue. Is Jason just talking out of his ass? Most likely. However, fans like myself can of course get hopes up that at minimum maybe he's teasing the idea of them working on remaking the second game, which would be cool, obviously, and even cooler the possibility of MediEvil 3. Although it would seem odd after the success of the Crash Bandicoot thing if for some reason MediEvil 3 was announced before they announced they were doing a Crash Bandicoot 4 or something like that.
Well,
which would be weird.
Like we said, I think last episode, it seems like MediEvil is a property owned by Sony. So I guess if Sony wanted to go ahead and bring in a new iteration, they could do it.
That's true.
I don't know why Activision isn't making... Or maybe, for all we know, they are doing a new Crash Bandicoot.
They would have to be at this point.
Or at least Crash Team Racing. Everybody wants the Crash Team Racing way.
I know, I do. Well, it's going to be really interesting after... So Spyro's out, obviously, today. Then we're going to find out how well Spyro does. And then people are going to start comparing those numbers to how well Crash did. And also Crash and Spyro are in a package together that you can also get if you... if that's the way you want to go about it. So Activision's going to be making a lot of money off these remakes of these beloved franchises. And if Spyro sells anywhere near as well as Crash, because Crash sold like hotcakes. I know in Australia especially, Crash was number one for quite a few weeks, quite a while. So and people were shocked. And by people, I mean people that weren't me, because I had my money on the right. I'm
pretty sure Dylan was right was the thing, wasn't it?
Hashtag Dylan was right. That's the one. And I reckon Spyro will do just as well. Easy.
Yeah.
I reckon maybe when it comes down to it, 6 months from now, it's sold a little bit less than Crash. But I reckon it's just out the gate, it's going to be doing just as well. I wouldn't be surprised if out the gate it does better, like day one sales than Crash did. Because the merchandise is already there. That's the biggest difference between this and Crash, I think. With Crash, it kind of came out, and the merch and all that sort of stuff came after, where they're like, "Fuck, this took off. Crash is popular again." Whereas for Spyro, they've already been putting out merch, pop files, all this sort of stuff before the games even come out. So.
He's been kept alive with the Skylanders, so there's a whole nother generation.
Spyro's name was in the first Skylanders game. He was in that game barely. And then every Skylanders game after that dropped him from the game and his name from the game.
Yeah, but he was still a character in the game.
No, I don't think he even appeared after the first one.
I'm pretty sure you get Spyro Skylander figures for a while. I don't know
how
recent.
The first one, I think.
No, a couple. I will Google this.
Get this Skylanders fucking trivia happening.
Yeah.
But even then, if all the kids love him from Skylanders, that's, once again, going to prove that might show that this will just sell a lot better. I reckon it will, so. I'm definitely not going to say that MediEvil's going to sell anywhere near as well as Spyro. Although an interesting tidbit. So back in the day, my brother, who doesn't really play many video games anymore, he used to play MediEvil as much as I did. And my dad played MediEvil too, or watched us play. Like, he knew what the game is. I knew he would know what the game is. Like, I remember it from my childhood. So I showed the trailer that we talked about last week to both them. And they were like, this is better than Spyro. So there's some hot takes for you from the Blight family home. And I mean, I agree. If I had to pick between picking up Spyro or MediEvil tomorrow, give me MediEvil.
Ooh.
There's all the hot takes for you.
Really? It's only one game though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, I love Spyro's great. Spyro's great. MediEvil's better.
Well, good news, because that's the choice you have. You can either have Spyro or MediEvil. You chose MediEvil. You're not going to EB tomorrow. Cancel that pre-order. Sleep in.
Sleep in. I think it's just because for some reason, like, obviously the mascot type thing isn't really around anymore, but I feel like there just isn't any games like MediEvil. Whereas I can find other mascot games like Spyro, or even shit like Ukulele is like coming out, I guess. I can't think of any other game that is like MediEvil. Personally. It is a dark comedy adventure. I don't even know. It's just unique. There's a reason they're remaking it, because it's one of the greats. Did you find the answer for the Spyro question over there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's been in everything. But let me just double check.
These are fucking lies, and Wikipedia's been hacked, so that's what I'm going to say.
He acts as a guide in Imaginators, but it seems like he's in every other Skylanders thing.
It's not the real Spyro.
No.
Fake Spyro. Horrible Spyro. Got some more PlayStation Classic news for you. So last week,
are they releasing more games? Games people wanted?
No, I wish. Yeah, I wish. So PlayStation the PlayStation Classic continues to look meh, as some outlets this past week got their hands on it. And there are a few things to go over. However, most interestingly came out was that it is being run on an open source emulator called PCSX Rearmed, which if you kind of hear that and you go, okay, why is that interesting? It's really only interesting because it proves like Sony at some point a couple of years ago was trying to sue emulators, you know, like basically all video game companies, the big ones or the big publishers, have over the years sued different emulators. Nintendo this year has sued emulator places. Sony years ago was suing emulator places. I think Sega at one point was suing emulator places. I have no idea if Xbox sued anyone. I would presume they fucking probably have.
Yeah, probably.
That's just all these places sue these emulator places, but then Sony's just like, you know what? Instead of building our own, this one that's just an open source one on the internet that we would have been so against or tried to sue at one point for some reason. That one will do. We'll just use that one to run our little thing here.
What do you think the people at Sony
do you
reckon somebody not in Sony is doing this? Like, and they've just put this emulator together?
This thing is just going to make them so much free money, which is the funniest thing about it. Like, when you think about it, say they've got this PCSX thing, right? So that means they didn't have to develop their own emulator software or anything. Cool. That saved them money. That saved them manpower. All good.
Yep.
Then you look at the game list and you go, this game list seems pretty shitty. That's probably because they weren't willing to pay a lot of the other publishers,
a lot of money,
like Activision and whoever, for a lot of money for the bigger licenses. So they've cheaped out on that stuff too. The only thing they're really putting a bunch of money into is the hardware, I guess, or like the casing, the controllers, and whatever else.
I can't imagine.
But then they're selling it. No, and then they're selling it for $150, and they're going to sell millions, or they're going to sell a lot basically.
Yeah.
This thing is going to sell like hot cakes, because of course it will, and they're just going to be making so much free money. It's fucking ridiculous.
Do you reckon they'll do the Nintendo thing and make like limited stock in quotation marks? Like forced scarcity, whatever the term is.
EB Games put out a thing the other week that said, we've got more stock in, which is either true and stock did sell out and they got more, or B, that it's not, people aren't pre-ordering it and they were just trying to hype it up. I'm going to stick on my train that it's actually going to sell really well, because I think people are suckers for this. And it's Christmas, coming into Christmas time, and people have bought the last two Nintendo ones, and now all the big Sony fans who didn't buy the Nintendo ones, like me if I was a sucker, are going to be picking this one up, especially for Christmas. Or people are going to be buying this for people they know are Sony fans for Christmas. So false scarcity. Yep. Don't know, but I reckon there's going to be some sort of limited number. But Nintendo's really fucking bad for that shit.
Super bad.
Everything from amiibos to Nintendo's always better. So the other thing we got to look at, so there was some details. The menu for the console itself is absolute hot garbage. It's hilarious how bad it is.
Yeah, it's not good.
It is like, I don't even know how to describe it if you haven't seen it. It's like a circle with all the games and the game's artwork just floating in a semi. It looks like the alpha. It looks like
a menu from that era.
Yeah, it's they've got nothing. They've gone to no effort. So the article I've read for all these details and we're looking at pictures from is from a Kotaku article, and they that was written by one Chris Kohler, who got to play with the console. He also points out that there's no menu music. Like, there's no cool music playing when you're
saving more money.
When you're circling all the games. That's the thing. There's no flashy graphics.
Don't want to pay
the
any rights for that menu music.
Fuck that. Save money. Save money. The options are barely any that you can fuck around with. You get one save state in the game. Like, you get one. It's doing that whole thing where you can, like the Nintendo ones, where you can save anywhere compared to the original games, which is how most emulation software works. Though you get the cool access of being able to make save states wherever the hell you want. This is doing it, but you only get one save slot for whatever reason. The Nintendo ones had 4 for comparison's sake, so that's cool, I guess. The memory card function, because of course PS1 games ran off memory cards, is you can look at the cool picture, and it has the picture that used to appear on PS1 memory cards below the games where you look at them. So I suppose that's cool. If you want to change games, you can't quit back to the main menu. You have to reset the console, which I think is silly, but apparently the Nintendo ones did thing as well.
Well, there's no home button. What do you expect?
I know, but just like press start and select at the same time or something like that, you know.
But what if you do it by accident?
Some sort of... If you press start and select by accident.
Yeah.
Really? Really? How are you pulling that one off?
Dexterously. I don't know.
Yes. Apparently some of the games look fine. That was playing on a HD TV, but then Chris also pointed out that a lot of them kind of looked like they would have looked a lot better if they was playing through a CRT TV rather than a HD TV, to which they were hooked up to.
CRT Mini coming soon.
The controller. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised these days. I really wouldn't be surprised if
like some hipster players is like, bring back CRT TVs.
I'm honestly surprised it hasn't happened yet, so... Then there's other weird things pointed out, like, where is it? Here we go. So, oddly, this is from the article from Kotaku. Oddly, many of the games of the PlayStation Classic were the European versions. When I booted up Final Fantasy VII, for example, I got the classic, licensed by Sony Computer Entertainment of America splash screen. But when I ran Battle Arena Toshinden and Grand Theft Auto Tekken 3, the screen said, licensed by Sony Entertainment Europe. So there's just a mixture. They've basically ran into the stock room at Sony, said, which version? Fuck it. Doesn't matter.
Those are the version of the ROMs they found online.
Yes, that's what it seems like. I don't want to talk about it anymore because obviously I'm not a big fan about it, but it is the most half-assed, chucked together thing but they're gonna make money, so
can't argue
sure.
That. Well, you can argue,
but
that.
you can't look at this menu and the games and just everything. It just screams like the last minute efforts of fuck. Someone just ran in, was like, what do you reckon, PlayStation Classic? Oh, yeah, okay. How long will that take? Oh, give me 2 weeks. I'll find something. It just seems like the most cobbled together thing.
No, it feels like someone walked in with a tiny little, the actual box. It's like, check out what I made. And then they're like, we should need to fill that with stuff. Do. Before Christmas. Before Nintendo announced the Nintendo 64 Mini. They're definitely going to announce another one this year.
It's something.
Yeah.
Well, if you're getting one, I hope you, dear listeners, if you're picking up a PlayStation Classic, I hope you enjoy it and I hope you have a great time. But
do you reckon it'll be like a collector's item? Do you reckon like it'll go up in value?
No.
No. Okay, good. That would be.
If it does,
I feel
it
like
would
that's
be-
the only reason I would pick it up. But yeah,
Sony has forever had majority of these games available to play a lot easier, and Sony doesn't hold the same like I don't know, I can't think of the right word, but like compared to Nintendo, like it just doesn't, their stuff just holds more value or like picks up, collector items wise, Nintendo stuff just fits the collector's market.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. It's just
because of Nintendo.
Kind of how it works.
It's just like one of those old school brands. They've got a longer lineage. It's like Disney
their stuff I just feel. Yeah, Disney stuff. Exactly. So DreamWorks versus Disney.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that a good
Not really.
comparison? Maybe.
It's
I
like
don't know.
comparing
No, really.
Goliath to David.
No, I'm sorry. Let's move on. Let's talk about some Bloodborne. You're like, oh my god, Bloodborne, really? Yeah, really. Let's talk about some Bloodborne.
Because
this was really weird. This was not yet, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
So this was a really weird and interesting thing. So Lance, this story comes from Kotaku. It's written by Cameron Kunzelman, who says data digger Lance McDonald has released a new video about a discovery from deep in the game files of Bloodborne. It is a boss named Snakeball, and it is scary. What a title! What a video! It's amazing. So I'm still fucking shocked every time I read that someone has discovered something new in Bloodborne. It is absolutely crazy that people are still finding stuff in this game, and we're not talking little random trivia notes hidden somewhere. We're not talking minuscule things. This is a giant fucking snake boss that they have found the game files for and brought back into the game. So the article continues, as McDonald explains in the video, the big snake thing is yet another unused enemy in Bloodborne, and yet it seems pretty damn complete for something that was yanked before the game was released. And it does. If you want to find the video, it'll be in the
I can see this
link,
GIF at the top of the story.
description.
Looks pretty good.
Yep. It'll be in the description of the show notes, either on your podcast services or whichever way you're listening to it. Spotify, sure. I'm sure it's there somewhere. I don't really know where they are there, but I'm sure they're there. But look at it. It's not like a half-built design. It's not like just a sketched out piece. It is full textures. It is fully animated. It's everything. And I watched the video. It's about 7 minutes long. Basically, the only thing that isn't complete for it is it's like scripting or it's AI or any of that. So it's really easy to kill. Like its health points are really, really low. Like they haven't balanced it. They never made it stronger for the player to take down or anything. He beats it as a level 1 player. It's fine. All its attacks are in though, or the majority of them are finished. So he fights it, attacks you. It's got all these fucking snakeheads that come down and bite you, spits acid at you. It's got all these little small snakeheads that are around it. They'll attack you if you go in and hit those. Then you got a really big one. It also does one attack where it will come down and it'll attempt to pick up the player. But because the scripting isn't in for the player character to animate, to like get to react to being picked up by the snake, it just kind of glitches out and he says that you have to restart the game. But it's a really disgusting looking boss that I kind of wished was in the game so I could fight, but at the same time, snakes are horrible and it's disgusting to look at and I don't really want to fight it. That's my 2 levels of...
It's a lot of note from me.
It's 2 levels of thoughts on that one. But at the same time, I'm just like, fuck, why wasn't in this game? And why was it pulled at what seems like such a late stage as well? And how the fuck do people like Lance just keep finding shit in this game that's so many years old at this point? It is
Why didn't they
nuts.
delete it completely?
That's exactly.
I mean, coding's hard. I get it, but it's weird.
It is like a deleted scene from a movie or something. Because a lot of times you watch deleted scenes from...
Put you backtrack certain scenes a certain way, then suddenly it pops up.
Well, it's kind of like, you know, when you watch a deleted scene and it's complete, you know, or it's just missing, I don't know, a piece of music or something to tie it together.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, this could just be in the movie, but the reason they cut it was because they want the main movie product to run smoother, to feel better, you know? So this is just me guessing, of course. I reckon the only reason this was cut is because when they were looking at the game in full, what was in it, bosses, how it would feel to play start to finish, this is kind of just them going, it kind of like makes that certain level feel. It doesn't fit, you know, it makes that level feel longer. It just doesn't fit how we want from this section to work. But at the same time, I do wonder because he also points out that it would have been in the Chalice dungeons as well. Or like there was coding for it in the Chalice dungeons. And the Chalice dungeons are separate to the main campaign. Basically what they are random dungeons you go through where you can find elements and gear and whatever else. And at the end of those, a random boss will spawn in. And people still play the Chalice dungeons a lot to this day because they're random. And if you find a really good one for farming or an item, you can save it and upload it online and share it with people. But if they put it from the main story part of the game, I do wonder why they didn't just finish it up and chuck it in the Chalice dungeons. If they put this much effort into it.
Didn't the game have DLC?
Yeah.
Couldn't you have chucked
old
it
hunters
into DLC or something?
Yeah, it wouldn't have fit the mood of the old hunters thing, I suppose.
Maybe.
But
it's odd.
if anything I'm taking away from this is that From Software put this much effort into it, and then because they want their product to be so good, they're willing to just go, nah.
We worked on this for 6 months, but sorry, Frank, it's cut.
Sorry. So, Bloodborne continues to come up with all sorts of crazy stuff in it. Talking about Bloodborne, which was Bloodborne 2, possibly on the horizon. So last week, I have no idea how you pronounce this, but let me guess and let me see what you reckon. Decrane?
Yeah, let's go with that. Or Desiree?
I mean, it's French or something, so... Descrane? I have no idea. Anyway, it's the PSVR From Software game that was announced weirdly at E3 this year.
Isn't it
during
out
Sony's
now?
quote unquote. It's out. Yeah, it's out now. It came out last week. So I've brought it. I've downloaded it. I had full intentions to play it, write a review, come to this show, talk about it.
But
however,
Tetris Effect
released. That is exactly what the problem was. So I'm hoping before next show, amongst all the other games, to do it, because I think it's only like 4 hours. So hopefully I can.
But
I've got
Effect.
it. But Tetris Effect, yeah.
Inspire.
That's the problem. Yeah, Inspire. So, but in the game, this is a slight spoiler of if you don't want to know about a Easter egg type thing in the game, I guess. So in the game, you can find a doll. Now this is coming from a IGN article, and they're saying it's discovered by Amazing Kamaru via Fextra Life, and I have no idea what that website is, but apparently it's a thing. It says a doll can be found in the new VR game, which makes the gesture to the Bloodborne players known as "make contact," because Souls games and gestures. The same gesture used by the Bloodborne character, the doll. And in case you didn't understand all that, the character's name is the doll, and we are looking at a doll in the game, it's a little girl's doll in the game. It's a character's doll that you pick up, and it says it's her doll, and the doll happens to be the character, the doll from Bloodborne. Are you with me? Very good. Moving on. More pointedly, when inspected, the Crane's doll description reads, quote, "A doll of the stone girl Fiona, who appears in the unfinished tale. When a person has a bad dream, Fiona appears and helps them flee." So basically what everyone's going crazy about is that the doll looks 99% like the doll character from Bloodborne, and then also the quote says something about an unfinished tale, and it is making a Bloodborne gesture. So now everyone's saying this is a teaser and Easter egg to set up Bloodborne 2, which, would be something that a lot of people would go crazy for. IGN article continues to say that users on Reset Era have pointed out other references, including a book using the Bloodborne logo font, which is when you're hard. I reckon after people found the doll, people were like, "Fuck, I'm replaying this game 100 times just to see if there's any other references to Bloodborne." That's exactly how it would have gone down. And another doll mentioning an unfinished tale alongside Bad Dreams could also be found. Of course, the internet is going crazy, but we thought we got Bloodborne 2 teased at the Game Awards last year when they came up with that very short, like 2-second teaser or whatever it was, 5-second teaser that says, it said Shadows Die Twice, which turned out to be Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Not at all Bloodborne, very different to Bloodborne. However, yeah, it's very different to Bloodborne's like a horror, Lovecraftian horror game, and Sekiro's for easy example, ninja game.
But those seem like games where you die a lot. So, they
are both games where you die a lot. That is true. So, but with the Game Awards coming up hot on our heels, I guess it's less than a month away. Yeah. I think it airs on the 9th or 6th or something like that. It's very early December though that it's airing, so it's less than a month away. And with Jeff Keighley being on Twitter constantly teasing about having more and bigger announcements this year than any year before, and I'll choose to believe him because I like Jeff. He seems like a nice guy. I'll choose to believe him. The possibility, maybe after all the hype last year, everyone freaked out and they thought it was Bloodborne 2. That's what the whole internet thought when that thing was shown. Everyone was on. Do you remember? Was you watching it last year?
I'm pretty sure we live streamed it or something.
Did we?
I feel, or we were all watching it together. I can't remember.
I honestly cannot remember.
Okay.
But I remember looking on Twitter after that thing happened. Everyone was just going crazy. It was like, was that Bloodborne? Was that Bloodborne 2? Oh my God, why'd they only show 5 seconds? Was that Bloodborne? That's the general consensus. So now I'm thinking, maybe if this is a setup, a teaser for Bloodborne 2, if they were going to announce it anywhere, and there's no PSX this year, Game Awards would have to be your best bet, especially to not make up, because they don't need to make up for what they did last year, but to build and play into fans' hopes and dreams, I guess, by revealing and showing it there would be good. So that's a possibility. That's a thing that could be happening. So I don't know. Stay tuned for that one. It may leak, like a lot of things to do with the Game Awards will probably happening. Talking about leaking and Game Awards, PUBG seems to be headed to the PS4. Are you fucking excited, Ash?
Is PUBG still a thing?
I know, it's a good question. I have no idea. So this story built up very early last week at some point. News started circulating rumors. At this point, it's all but confirmed because as someone pointed out on reset.era or resetera.com, you can find it on the store. It is on the PlayStation servers. Like you can't turn on your PlayStation now and find it, but if you look in the background, it is there. It has codes. Someone on here has posted the NA code for the game and the European code for the game. It's on the servers. So PUBG is definitely coming, and if they announce it anywhere, Game Awards will be the place. It'll be the biggest oomph of the whole show, and I hope they.
They need something to start. They need some material for the pre-show.
Yeah, that's what I was about to think. Yeah, because last year they did a bunch of pre-show, like smaller announcements too, didn't they? Just trailers playing and stuff. And he was like, "Was that a thing?" Okay, that was just announced apparently. Yeah. So, yeah, if they want to announce it in that, fine. If they want to make this like if Jeff Keighley gives out one award and it's like now for the first world premiere and it cuts to a trailer for PUBG. And it'll be a trailer that's trying to tease it. It'll be showing PUBG and they'll be trying to get you to go, is it DLC? Is it DLC? And it'll come up like PS4 and everyone will be like, we don't care. And also, we know.
No. If they're announcing it there, they have to announce it with something. They can't be just that it's coming to PS4. It also has to come to Switch.
They announce anything. I reckon no matter what they announce, it'll just be the biggest...
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest thing on the show. I can't think of something you could announce that would have a bigger, like shrug from everyone. Basically, I don't even know. You could announce literally anything else, and I feel like people would be more interested or more vocal. Like even vocally angry, because I feel like announcing PUBG for PS4 is going to make people angry. It's just going to get the biggest shrug.
Yeah.
No one cares either side. It's just big old who cares, and let's move on. So, look forward to that if you care though. But if you want my advice, if you're looking for a battle royale to play on your PlayStation,
Fortnite.
Blackout's pretty good. No, but fuck off.
At least it's free.
Call of Duty Blackout's the one. Yeah, buying Call of Duty for Blackout has proven to be. If you want to put dollars into hours and do that whole shitty system of, well, a game's worth $1 for every hour that I play it, I think I'm good at this point.
Yeah.
I've put a fair few hours into it, I think now. Okay, another interesting story. I got a random, a bit of an eclectic mix this week, but that's fine.
Yeah. We're eclectic here.
Yeah, but you know, the problem is that as we started off, all these big games that are out this week are out after we record the show.
Yeah.
So
Just have to fill it with news.
deal with it. Yeah, deal with it. Well, these things are interesting. So apparently PS Now is doing better than every other gaming-related Netflix-style business stuff. This data comes from superresearch.com, who put up a whole report on gaming subscription services. You can buy the full report for a lot of money, or you can scroll and see what they've got available on the website, which isn't much, but they do have some graphs up available for you. So this says top subscription services Q3 2018, which all up pulled in $273 million, of which 52% of that was PlayStation Now, the service that everyone shits on and says no one cares about. But 52% of that money was from Sony's PlayStation Now streaming service. Now, the big question here is, did Sony, because this isn't even out in Australia, of course, which is still shocking to me, and I just wish they'd hurry up and announce it, because I think they're losing money here, but they did, of course, in the countries that's available, like America, and we talked about in the show a couple months back whenever it was announced that they did add the ability to download the games, you know, because originally it was just a streaming service. There was no option for you to download the games and play them. I'm wondering how much bigger difference that made to this. Like, I'm wondering if a lot of people suddenly jumped on after that announcement and were like, well, fuck, that's great. Because it has more games than Game Pass.
Yeah.
The other things that's comparing here to.
For perspective, PlayStation Now 52%.
Yeah.
Xbox Game Pass 15%. EA Access 16%. Origin Access EA 8%. And Origin Access Premier EA is 9%. Mm-hmm. So really, EA's got 17%, I guess. That's how math works.
I guess, yeah. They just have them separate because they're different services.
A huge chunk.
A huge chunk, yeah. And that's what it's the same. But when you look at all these services, which Australians don't really, because obviously we don't have access to it, but when you do look at them, PlayStation Now has the most on it. It has PS3 games, it has PS4 games, and most importantly, and I feel like this might be a big factor to it, you can play these all on your PC.
Yeah.
That was one of the big things about it. You can download the PlayStation Now thing and you can play these things on your PC. You don't have to do it on your actual console.
You do need a DualShock though.
That has to be. Yeah, you can plug in the old DualShock. You can buy a Sony was selling on their website like a USB adapter thing to make it so you could use it. And there's other ways to do it, but of course that was a thing. So, that's it's just it's shocking. Well, not even shocking. It's interesting, I guess, and it just makes me want the service to come to Australia more. And I'm wondering why they're still taking so long. Because when they announced downloads were coming, I didn't expect them to announce that it was coming to other countries straight away. Because I was like, sure, take your time, test it, make sure everything's running once you activate downloads. I get you, no problem. But it's been a couple months now, and I'm still like, where is it? Why don't we have access to it yet? What is the problem? What is the holdup? You got Xbox over here. Like, if this was only Australian numbers, obviously Xbox would be killing because Sony's not even involved.
I mean, really, those numbers are a kick in the face to Xbox, really, because they're putting all their new releases onto Game Pass. And then Game Pass is only getting a fraction of the market. It boggles the mind, really.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what I was saying when we did that, when we talked about it a couple months back when it was first announced, and I was saying that, you know, coming into the next generation of the consoles, PS5 and Xbox, whatever, and presuming that all countries are going to have these services up and running from the get-go. So Xbox is going to come into the next gen with Game Pass being a really big thing. And it's going to be a big thing because it's all they talk about. They just had their conference. Xbox had their XO18 conference on. And Game Pass was the biggest thing of the show. It's just like announcing all these games to Game Pass. And next thing, games like Crackdown are coming. They're coming to Game Pass day and date releases, etc., etc., etc. Such a big thing. So that's what they're going to be going into next generation with. And that makes sense. And that's going to be really good for them. And I think this whole Netflix module type stuff for games is good for the consumer for
is it good for the publishers,
definitely,
all the developers? Is the question.
I think it's I don't know, like I don't know how the money works or how it goes there, but when you compare it to something like Netflix, where you're like, fuck, Netflix must be ranking money, but then they're canceling shows and you find out they're actually in a bit of debt because they went a bit too crazy with all their
because there's only a certain amount of
shows,
people
so
you could sell it to.
Exactly. So and Sony's, I presume Sony's going to go into next generation with the same thing, but maybe the big difference is here that Sony's going to go in and have more of a proper Netflix catalog with, say, PS3, PS4 games. You know, like here is our PlayStation Now, PS3, PS4 games are going to be on here. And this will help them out a lot if they're like, no, your PS4 game discs aren't going to work in the PS5. But they're like, sorry, people will still be shitty, of course, but we're going to be adding PS4 games constantly to PlayStation Now as the months and years continue. And out the gate, it's going to have, 100, 200, like the 50 biggest ones to start off with or something like that. Yeah. So
all our exclusives.
Xbox could go, well, that's the thing. I'm wondering, Xbox goes in with this whole mantra of all our games are day and date on Xbox Game Pass. That's how you can play them. Sony could go in with their subscription service. No, you fucking pay for our games because they're that good and you have, but our subscription service is more like an actual Netflix thing or it's just a library, more of the library element. Unlike the Xbox has got the Netflix original type stuff on their service, and Sony's just doing the library contents of their streaming service. But Sony's going to have more and bigger and better. It appears to be working to a degree, I guess. They got, because I like Xbox Game Pass. I think it's really good idea. I think money wise, it's really, really good. If I was a kid and Xbox Game Pass was around, like I would have wanted an Xbox over a PlayStation. Yeah. Because you get money wise, you pay $11, $12 whatever a month, and you get access to all these fucking games, all these games,
new ones too. Yeah. Which is huge.
Yeah, and you get new ones every now and then. And then they're adding games every month to it. So it's really, really good value for what it is. So, but they don't have that many games on there is the thing. Like you can look through the library, you can scroll around, you can be like, this is cool. And then there's a whole heap of Xbox 360 titles that I'm like, I've never even heard of half this stuff. But Sony's over here with 500 titles or whatever it is, I think. Appears to be doing something. Yeah. Appears to be doing something. So I'm hoping we hear about it coming to Australia soon. But it's just one of those things that has to drop. There's no. You're not going to see it announced somewhere. They're not going to announce it.
It's live now.
They'll just wake up one morning and just be like, "Hey, this is coming soon," or "This is going to be a thing." And I hope that's soon because that's what I'm saying. For me personally, I don't have the time. I don't want it because of that. However, I just think it's really good service for people to have, and I would much rather have this worldwide kind of rivalry happening. Not because I want to be on Sony's side, like yelling "fuck you" at Xbox, but if both services are globally, it does mean that they get to play badminton and make each other, better. And that's why we have more than one video game console. For all these people who are like, why can't there only be one video game console? Shit wouldn't get better that way. You need competition. That's just how it works. The last story I was going to just bring up real quickly is because I was literally thinking like a week or two ago, I was thinking about how when we was coming into Halloween, people are always playing Halloween games. There's no shortage of horror games that you can play for Halloween. You see all these Twitch streamers, all October, they're streaming Halloween games. We enter November, I'm like, oh yeah, Christmas is coming up. I've got Christmas stuff at work to sell. There's Christmas decorations up everywhere. I'm like, fuck, there's never Christmas games. There's no Christmas games that people can play. And then Killing Floor 2's got my back of old games. So, Killing Floor 2 put out a trailer for their upcoming free update for the game called Twisted Christmas Seasons Beatings, which I quite like as a name, Seasons Beatings. So it's going to add a playable badass Santa, and that's their name, not my description, who is being played by one Gary Busey. And if you watch the trailer, which you can find a link for in the description of this to go watch, it is something. Hearing Gary Busey try and tell you to make sure you go out and pick up Killing Floor 2. Because he's talking about it like he's part of the main game. Pick up the game, make sure you buy it. You're part of a free update, mate. Calm down. Like, what are you doing over here? But yeah, if you're like me and you wonder where all your Christmas games are, be sure to update your copy of Killing Floor 2. When this update goes live, they didn't have a date yet, some point in December, and you'll be able to have some fun as the old Santa Claus. You want to come shoot some Zeds with me, Ash?
No, I'm good.
Oh, but some co-op Christmas fun?
Yeah, no.
Do it for the content? Do it for the content?
We'll talk about this later.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You would have it too. It was on PS Plus.
I might. I know.
Yeah, it was on PS Plus. I don't know. No, it was on PS Plus last year. But you haven't lapsed at any point, have you?
No. Let me just check.
Then you'd have it. See, you wouldn't even cared. It would have been there, and you was like, "Fuck this first-person shooter nonsense. I ain't playing this crap. Get the fuck out of my life." I played it for a couple hours. It's fun. It's on PC and Xbox as well.
Yes, I have Killing Floor 2.
There you go. Got him. Not only do you have Killing Floor 2, you now are about to have Killing Floor 2 Badass Santa Edition. So,
lucky man.
Let's move on with hashtag every trophy counts as we move on to wrapping up the show. I feel like this episode's been, I don't know. You could it's a tired one,
Yeah.
You can tell you're sick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired.
We're just sick and tired.
It's just one of those. I'm just fucking sick and tired of you. Hashtag every trophy counts. Pointing out this, I don't know what the fuck is going on, Ash.
Yep.
But in the last week, 2 trophy lists have popped for 2 separate horse games.
They're just right in that wave of popularity from Red Dead 2. Everybody's loving their horses. Gotta cash in.
Fuck. That's probably what it is, you're right.
Yeah.
That'll make sense now.
It does.
I never put it together before, but yeah, you're probably right. So the first game, if you want to know and you're wondering, is called My Riding Stables, Life with Horses. The second game is called Bibby and Tina, Adventures with Horses. And if you're wondering, yes, they both look like they have easy platinums. No, I don't know if they're actually going to be easy because no one had played them yet, but they both looked pretty easy. Are they going to be available for you to purchase somewhere easily? I don't know. Let's hope so. Those fucking horses games. There's coming to a point on the PlayStation where you're going to be able to type in horse, and there's going to be like 10 different fucking horse games for you to buy. Add this onto the one from Love Year where there's all those trophies. I haven't even played that one yet. What was it? Get the platinum by eating all the fucking plants or whatever the hell it was.
Remember, yeah.
Some
sort of storm horse or something.
Some really weird nonsense was happening. Get excited for that one, everyone.
Yeah.
And then got Battlefield 5's trophy list is up. and it for some reason they've done good because it looks like the easiest, if not the easiest FPS, certainly the easiest Battlefield trophy list ever. There is no collectibles for you to get. There's no dog tags or intel or any of that crap to get in the campaign missions. You do have to beat the campaign missions on hard, but that's fine. That's pretty much expected for FPSs at this point. But then the multiplayer trophies are straightforward, easy as fuck. There's no really obscure thing like kill certain enemies with this, kill 5 enemies with 1 grenade or anything that could be really hard with that. It is a simple matter of play every map, play 5 rounds of this, play as this class, reach 500,000 points on your profile or whatever, which is just a time thing. So it's like if you really, really suck, obviously it'll take you longer. If you're good at the game, it'll probably only take you X amount of hours and you'll be there in no time. So this means that usually, and this is what I'm fine with, because this means that whenever they're going to add the DLC, I presume that's where they're going to be adding in their obscure, really hard, annoying multiplayer trophies, which I'm fine with because it means the platinum is a lot easier. I'm interested that the single player apparently has no intel or collectibles at all, or they just chose to leave it out of the trophy list for whatever reason, which is odd, but fine by me. But yeah, so Battlefield, possibly one of the easiest platinums. And was that part of the platinum, the whatever thing? What was that called? The real life platinum trophy thing? Was Battlefield 5 part of it?
I feel like it wasn't. I feel like COD was. Oh, maybe it was.
I remember COD was, but I didn't think about this until just now, but I was like, fuck, was this actually part of the thing? Because if so, it's going to be one of the easiest ones you could probably
get that pre-order
while going for that. Yeah, I still wouldn't have time. Too much work and fucking shit this week. Yeah, I was about to say. Play me a tune. We're not moving on. We need to know. We need to know what was part of
Yes, it was. Both Battlefield 5 and Fallout 76.
No? Well, Fallout's going to take you a while.
Yeah, that'll take a while.
There's no way that one's going to... The trophies haven't popped for that yet, but there has to be some... Or they might have by the time we're recording, who knows. But guarantee there's some ridiculous trophy for reaching the highest level or something like that, which will probably take you...
Nuke 1,000,000 towns.
Quite some time. Yeah, fuck that shit. And then the last thing I was going to point out was, out of all those PlayLink games we've talked about before, so you've got Ticket the Ride,
yep,
which has... Trophy list looks fine, but time consuming, just certain very, very particular conditions to be met by different players while playing, which might be easy, might be hard, just depends on once people get their hands on it and how easy it is to set up the certain conditions, I suppose. But that trophy list is fucking stacked. You've got the main game, and then there's like 5 or 6 different DLCs for different versions of Ticket to Ride, so
yep,
for different countries, for different versions. So I don't know how much they're all going to be selling separate for, but that's the thing. That game has a fuckload. I think it's like Night and Gold in it at the moment or something. So, including all DLCs. So that's something.
I mean, it's smart.
Then you've got
the board game market is pretty huge. The Ticket to Ride is like one of the biggest. I mean, this is a pretty good, cheap alternative to picking up the game physically.
Yeah, I feel like out of all the ones that are dropping, this one is the one people will be most likely to pick up.
It'll be interesting to see if it sets a precedent. Are we going to see more board games?
Here's the thing.
Coming to PlayLink.
If we could play this together, like if us two and whoever else could play this, I would be fucking excited. I would have been on this show today. I would have talked about Tetris a little bit less just to talk up how excited I am to play Ticket to Ride. But I don't, as far as I'm concerned, I know it is no different than all other PlayLink titles and we're not going to be able to play. So I don't care. It's what it boils down to. This is my problem. Like, anytime I get excited about any sort of multiplayer game and they just lock you into couch co-op, I'm just like, fuck. Like, we've reached a certain point in video games where everyone discovered online 10 years ago or whatever it was, and everyone just started playing online multiplayer games, and then everyone was like, fuck, what happened to the couch co-op game or couch multiplayer game? And now they're everywhere to the point where I'm like, fuck, this couch multiplayer game, like Overcooked is obviously my go-to example, because as much as I like the look of the first one, I was like, I can't. But they added online for the second one, and I was like, yeah, great. I've been having a great old time with this game. That's really a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. A lot of games I played at PAX, I'm like, this game's great, looks amazing.
You need online.
Still think it looks amazing, but I can't like, I understand that you got to pay for servers and stuff, and you're an indie team, so I give you a bigger pass. But you know, for these games with Sony behind them, the PlayLink ones, I'm like, fuck, just come on, just look at Jackbox and just set up one server thing that runs all these games, like Jackbox.tv. That's just one website. It does all the Jackbox games. I don't know. Just
one app
sort it out,
that you like have all the apps come down.
Yeah, all their games them. Yeah, because that's the other thing. They're all fucking separate. So someone out there loves PlayLink games, because of course they do, and that's fine. Yeah. I'm not trying to make fun of them, because I've played it. Like, the one I played the most of is the Until Dawn, whatever one, because I could play that by myself and it was fun. Do you remember? I can't remember what it was called. I swear it's called like Hidden something, maybe. I don't actually remember though. But that one's like a police serial killer mystery type thing. I played that one. That was fine. That was fun. That was cool. Had a great time. Well, not a great time. I had a fine time. It wasn't like amazing, but anyway.
Hidden agenda.
Yeah, you have to... Hidden agenda, thank you. So you had to have an app for that, and then I played Knowledge is Power for a little while at Christmas last year. I chucked it on and was like, hey, everyone want to play video games? And my family was pretty much like, nah, not really. And I was like, well, I tried to be nice at Christmas, but fuck yous then, bye. That's a separate app. But someone out there loves PlayLink tiles and has just a folder on their phone with 10 different fucking apps. It should just be one, you're right. It should just be the PlayLink app that updates, or you can download inside that app the separate files necessary to play the games. I don't know why they're all separate. It's fucking stupid. I've run out this week is Knowledge is Power, of a subtitle.
Decades.
That's coming out as well this week. Decades, is it? Okay. That's cool. It's a trivia game. Once again, I would play it if it was a thing. Not repeating myself though. I kind of just did repeat myself. But the one I was pointing out for every trophy counts is Chimp Party, which is, as it says, it's a party game. It's a tongue-in-cheek, fun party game for PlayLink. But someone already has the platinum, is the point. someone already has the platinum in this one. I looked at the trophies. I couldn't figure out if they were hard or easy, because it is, again, you know, have 2 players do this, have 3 players do this. But then it's like, can you... I know, for example, and I haven't done it, although I've thought about doing it, just to time and effort and all this sort of stuff that I don't have, mainly time. For Knowledge is Power, for example, you can just download a thing on your PC that you could trick into being an app for the phone. So then you could get the Knowledge is Power Platinum by just or if you have several different
phones,
smart devices, obviously. You grab a phone, you grab a tablet, you grab another tablet, you grab someone else. Yeah, you have a smart fridge. You do what you need to do. You have your Apple Watch. You just get the app open on a bunch of different things, and for the trophies that say player 2 does this or whatever, you obviously can just set it up so you can meet the trophies requirements easy enough. But I'm going to presume if someone already has a Platinum Chimp Party, then it's probably a very easy one to set up the conditions by yourself to pull off.
Probably.
I'd hope so. Would make sense.
What about Tetris Effect?
That's going to be it.
You're gonna get...
Tetris. Fuck Tetris trophies. No fucking way. So here's the big no. The main trophy that is going to turn off everyone and just don't even bother is you have to not triple S. You have to double S everything possible in the game. So double S is the highest rank you can get in a level if you get a really good score. And by everywhere, they mean all of the levels on easy, all of the levels on normal, all of the levels on expert, and then all of the bonus modes like classic, infinite, like all these sort of things. Higher, double S those. So... fuck no, never gonna happen. No, if you have to be really good at Tetris.
There's 5 people who've done it, and yet no one's got a platinum.
Some people are really good at some people are really good at Tetris. There was a dude I was watching on Twitch earlier today who had been streaming for I don't know how long, his whole life. I feel he was going for a world record score of Tetris, and he the game, because he'd been playing it for so long, it got to max speed, which was 15, and watching him play it, apparently I was looking in the comments and looking it up because I didn't see it, but apparently at some stage out 3 or 4 hours before I'd been looking at it, that's how long, the same level, just trying to get the world record score or something, he had his wife feeding him food because he couldn't stop. Nice. Just had to keep going. It is. That's love. Yes, that was the thing.
Find someone who'll feed you food while you're playing a video game.
Playing Tetris game for the world record, yeah. For someone like that person, the platinum would be very fucking easy. For the normal, even someone who's better than me, say you're, better than me, but you're still going to struggle, I feel, on expert, Like if you're good on normal, but you still struggle to get a double S on normal, the normal levels, then you're going to struggle on expert. Expert's hard. I jumped into expert. I'm like, this is fast. No. No, thank you. I did the first level. I was like, nope. Let's not even think about how fucking ridiculous this gets as you get further into the game, because it fucks you. It really, really fucks you. Anyway, that's Tetris. That's Platinum Explosion for this week. What a show. What an episode it was.
Yep.
Hope everyone enjoyed it. Hope everyone enjoys the Spyros and whatever else they're going to be doing this week. Playing Tetris. You should just all play Tetris. That's what I'm saying. Fuck all the games out this week. Fallout. Nah. Red Dead. Nah, fuck. Stop playing that. Pick up Tetris. Pick up your VR headset. Do what you need to do to get one in your hands. Get yourself some quadruple stacks.
Get yourself a Christmas present.
Do it. You deserve it, listener. You deserve it. You can follow me on Twitter at VivaLaDill. When people follow you, Ashley?
You can follow me on Twitter at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEYHOBLEY. It's a thing.
You can follow this show on Platt Podcast on the Twitters. Don't forget to rate it on the Apple Podcast if you can. That's the best way to help out the show for free. And if you wanna help out even more, you can tell someone else to subscribe or share it on your social media of service that you like using. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, I don't know. Take a picture, a screenshot of you listening to the show, share it, and just say, I really enjoyed the episode, and tag us. That'll be nice. Doesn't the extra
warms
mile
our hearts.
that you can do. Warms our cold hearts.
Yeah.
Join the Discord to chat to us about games, ask for trophy tips, that sort of stuff. Send in questions for the show. You can do that at explosionnetwork.com/Discord to join, or if you want to send in stuff for the show, you can also do that. platinum@explosionnetwork.com is the email address. This is, of course, a product of the Explosion Network, of which you can find many more shows, articles, news, reviews, and cool things at explosionnetwork.com, including our brand new video game show, Arcade Couch, which I'll probably pump this week, next week, maybe the week after, another couple of weeks to make sure everyone's aware, is our new variety gaming show where we talk about all sorts of things, not just specifically PlayStation, so you should check that one out as well.
Yeah.
Arcade Couch. Come sit on the couch and have a good time with us. Available Saturdays, 6 a.m. Australian time. I say Australian, Ash is like, I'm Australian. You're on the wrong Australian time. It's Australian time.
Fuck daylight savings.
You can follow Explosion Network on Twitter at ExplosionPod. Until next week, hope you have a great time playing Tetris. Bye.
Bye.
Hey there, dear listeners. Are you aware that the Explosion Network has a brand new video game podcast? You're not? Well, it's called Arcade Couch and it is available now. We kicked it off at PAX 2018 by recording the first episode right there and then, and now it is releasing every Saturday at 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Go ahead and download it now on your favorite podcasting service. Simply search for Arcade Couch. Search for Explosion Network, whatever, however you want to go about it. Find it, subscribe to it. Grab your friends' phones, subscribe to it. Check it out. Check out the first episode, live from PAX. Check out the second episode, live from our usual recording booths. But just check it out.